Hello guys, today I am going to teach you how to create really snappy buttons. But first, let me show you this. Cool, right? What you just saw is actually one of the projects that motivated me to leave my job. Unfortunately, it's currently on hold. The time and workforce needed to finish it are just beyond the risks I can afford right now. But did you notice those snappy, juicy buttons? Yeah, that is exactly what we're going to learn today. Okay, let's dive into it. Let's start with an empty project and import some button sprites. I am providing you with the exact same ones that you saw in this video, but of course you can use different ones. The only thing is, you will need one sprite for when it is released, and another one for when it is pressed. To make it work as a button, select both of the sprites in the project, then in the inspector, change the texture type to Sprite, 2D, and UI. Set the sprite mode to single, since it's not a tile set, and change pixels per unit to 64. Also change the filter mode to point, no filter, to keep the pixel art style. And finally, the compression. Change from normal quality to none. Now, let's create the button. Right-click in the hierarchy, go to UI and select Button Text Mesh Pro. If it's your first time doing this, you will need to import the TMP Essentials. Just click the button and wait a moment. Once it's done, close the Text Mesh Pro window. Now, let's change the sprite of the button to make it look much more stylish. Drag and drop the released button sprite into the source image slot of the button component, and change both the width and height to 256. Next, let's adjust the text position inside the button. Tweak the top and bottom values to make sure the text fills only the internal space of the button. And now, let's hit play to see what we got. Notice that when we click, we just have a standard boring Unity button. We are going to change that right now to make it super snappy. Let's select the button game object, and inside the button component, change the transition field from color tint to sprite swap. Now, drag and drop the pressed button image into the pressed sprite field. Let's hit play again. And look at that, the button is way more snappy already. But we're not done yet. The next step is to fix the text. It needs to shift down when we press and pop back up when we release. Since we care about our game looking good, let's make a few adjustments to the text. Personally, I'm changing the text to something more playful and boosting the font size. For this example, I am using a font called ViaFont, which you can easily find with a quick search online. Now, let's start coding. Create a monobehavior script and name it whatever you want. I am naming mine UI button snappy. Then open the script and remove all the unnecessary boilerplate code. Now, to make our button react to clicks, we are not going to use the standard Unity button component. Instead, we are going to implement the eye pointer down handler and eye pointer up handler interfaces. And for a quick sanity check, let's first add some debug logs to each event just to make sure we are on the right track. Back in the editor, let's add the new script to the button game object and hit play. Yes, we have some logs when we click and release. It is working perfectly. Now, we are going to move the button text down. To do it, let's grab the rect transform reference of the text, and we will also need a vector2 variable to store the original position of the text. Store the initial text position in the original position variable. Now, we create a new method to move the text down. Grabbing the original position and adding a vector2.down value to it. To keep it simple, I am hard coding the down multiplier as 50, but you can improve this later any way you want. And now we call the new press method inside onPointerDown. And of course, we need a release method that will restore the text to its original position. And we call that release method inside onPointerUp. Back to the editor, we assign the text transform with the child text of the button, and let's hit play. There you go, our snappy button is working, but it is kind of boring without a sound. Let's get back to code and fix it. We will need an audio source to play the sound and an audio clip with the sound that we want to play. Let's create both as variables in the code. Now, before playing the sound, we need to make sure that both the audio source and the audio clip are assigned, meaning they are not null. Then we set the audio source clip to be our click sound. And we play it from the audio source. Now, back in the editor, we add the audio source component, assign it to our script, and choose any clip that you like to assign to the click sound variable. Nice! We have sounds! One final touch that I would like to add is compatibility with controllers. It is a small thing that changes completely the experience. What we need to do is simply open the code again and implement the iSubmit handler interface. Now we create a new method to animate up and down in a sequence. For this one, make sure you add the async keyword. It simply calls the press method, awaits a small amount of time, and then plays the release method. And finally, inside the onSubmit method, we just call our animate method. Of course, we need to play the sound. To make it simple, I am simply copying what we do on pointer down, but you can elaborate it more. And to make it work in the controller, select the event system and drag and drop the button to the first selected field. Now if I press the button in the controller, the button is clicking. If you really want to dive deeper into game development, I strongly suggest you take a look at my work. I have excellent courses for both beginners and advanced developers. With over a decade of experience in Unity, I am pretty sure you will find an interesting project on my Udemy page, packed with clear, simple, and thoughtful explanations and analogies. And of course, I also provide one-to-one lessons that you can easily find on my LinkedIn page. Thank you very much for your time. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to boost this channel and receive more and more quality content.